If you're watching this video, you've probably built up your store, found your product, and you're looking to move on to the next step, which is finding someone reliable that can actually source your product and get it to the customer correctly. That way, when you're selling your products on your store, you are confident that your customer is going to receive the exact item that you are selling. It doesn't seem like too much to ask for, but it really is a difficult thing to do. And if you don't have a reliable supplier and you just rush this process, you're going to end up getting a lot of customer service headaches, slow shipping times, a lot of chargebacks, refunds, and your business is going to go down the drain. Here on this channel, I want to teach you how to run sustainable e-com brands. That way it can take over your income and you can actually do this for a career. So today we're going to learn how to find reliable suppliers. But first, before we get into finding this right supplier, let's quickly cover the qualities that actually make up a good supplier. Because if you don't know these, then how on earth are you going to find this supplier? All right, first up is communication. In the world of dropshipping, there are so many people reaching out to you probably saying that they can sell your product, source it for cheaper. But a lot of these people don't have great communication skills. And this is extremely important when you're running your business. The supplier is an extension of your business and essentially the lifeblood of it. And if you're not confident in communicating with them effectively, you're going to run into so many headaches. And this doesn't just mean that they reply to your emails quickly or text you back right away. There's a lot more to communication, especially in business. You need a supplier that can be clear, reliable, willing to go the extra mile for your business, essentially working as a partner. They need to get the right information with product costs and quotes, correct shipping times, and be honest with you and warn you about any potential delays or running out of product. If they're open and honest with you about all of these things, that is a good sign. This is a great example that I love to use in terms of this and trust. This was a few years ago, but my private supplier was accidentally charging me a little bit too much for shipping per order. It was under $1 per order in terms of shipping and it only lasted a little bit, but he actually reached out to me, apologized, told me what was going on, and then sent me a PayPal for the extra shipping costs that he was charging me. That's how you build good business and good partnerships, and this is exactly why I use him to this day. This leads me into the next quality, which is trust. This goes way beyond just taking their word for whatever they're saying. A trustworthy supplier has a track record of delivering on their promises. And of course, you're not going to be able to establish this right off the bat, but if their communication is great, it's worth giving them a try and a shot and allowing them to ship out products to you and your customers. You just have to monitor what they're saying is actually what they're doing. You and your supplier have to come to terms with shipping times, returns, any mistakes that the supplier is making. Maybe there's broken products that arrived. Are they going to ship out a new one for you? Handling all of these issues that you are inevitably gonna see in your business without any objections or any issues with your supplier. They also should be very transparent about their capabilities and limitations. If you suddenly start getting 200 orders a day and they're like, yeah, no problem, we can fulfill those, but then it gets backed up and they're only shipping out 50 a day, that's gonna be an issue for you and your business. You really want a supplier that's gonna communicate exactly what they are capable of doing. And over time, this will establish the trust that you need. The next quality that a supplier should have is obviously good shipping times. In the age of Amazon and next day deliveries, customers have these high expectations in terms of shipping. And long shipping times are the leading complaint from customers, especially in dropshipping. A good supplier should have relationships with multiple logistics companies to help you identify the best route for you and your product and what shipping times that you want to get. They don't go with the cheapest one, they go with the best and most reliable, like a FedEx, DHL, USPS. They don't stick it on some random boat out in China and hopefully it gets to the customer's house in like 45 days. That's just not gonna work. Although it's enticing because it is cheaper, it is definitely going to hurt your business. Trust me on this one. So all in all, you need to have a supplier that has a lot of good shipping routes available. All right, so those are the must-have qualities in a supplier. Now let's dive deeper into how to actually find this supplier. So while AliExpress and CJ dropshipping can seem like good options, especially as a beginner, they're easy, they implement with a lot of things, and they seemingly have low prices. They also come with significant drawbacks that can really hinder the success of your dropshipping store. The main issues include long shipping times, not the best communication skills, they might just ignore you. And a lot of the times what I've actually seen in the past is that they really overpromise. They're always like, yeah, I can get the product out in 6 days to your customer, don't worry about it. And then it arrives in like 29 days. Now, while AliExpress is a great platform to look for products and things like that, you do have to be very careful with the suppliers that you choose on AliExpress. Remember that they're not coming from AliExpress. AliExpress is just a marketplace. Each individual item on AliExpress comes from a different supplier, a different manufacturer, so you need to be aware of that. So now let me cover what you should be using instead of just going straight onto AliExpress AliExpress and choosing the first supplier that you find. I'm going to be covering multiple options to use for suppliers, so listen to each of them and whatever sounds the best to you, you should go with. All right, so the first is a company that I love working with, and they've made huge strides in terms of supplier and product research, along with their flagship trait of automatic order fulfillment, which is fantastic. They've really started to cover the whole marketplace. So it's AutoDS. And of course, if you want to try out AutoDS completely for free, I'll have a link down below. A lot of the things that they've been improving in 2023 moving into 2024 is kind of covering this whole marketplace from start to finish of your dropshipping journey. And one of the most helpful things that they've added is actually having their own vetted suppliers on their website. So once you log into AutoDS, all you have to do is go into the marketplace, and you can see here that they've got the best sellers category. There's a bunch of different niches that you can choose from. But what's crazy that they've implemented lately is this relationship with certain suppliers. So for example, if you wanted to do this for like a Valentine's Day or an anniversary gift, the shipping time on this product is 2 business days. So all of their warehouses that they can get this quickly are all based in the US, therefore allowing you to get these really quick shipping times. And they have great customer service because you are on the AutoDS platform itself. You can directly just chat with them. And they've been in the space for almost a decade now, so they're really trustworthy. I mean, they kind of hit all the qualifications, good shipping times, they're trustworthy, and they have great communication, which makes them a very viable supplier. So you have to scroll through here and look for certain products that you want to sell. And if you already have one in mind, you can add the products onto their marketplace. So you're not just necessarily limited to these ones, but the shipping times might vary if you're pulling in your own product. But they have a ton of top selling winning products already on here that most beginners are going to kind of gravitate towards. So it's pretty much all set up for you. I mean, I've seen this product a million times, and they've got it for 2 business days here. And AutoDS is linked onto your Shopify store through the app section. So all you have to do is click import draft and then import to your store. So when you click on import draft here, you just click view, and then you just click import to your store on the right side here, and it'll automatically populate with all the information, the product images, the descriptions, all that stuff will just go right onto your Shopify store. And then it will be automatically linked. Like, they know that this is the supplier that you're going to be using since you're pulling it directly from AutoDS. So when you utilize their auto fulfillment services, if you make a sale on this product, they'll automatically order it for you, ship it out to the customer, and then automatically populate all of the tracking information back onto your Shopify, which gets sent out to your customer. So they really just make the whole process hands off. I can't recommend AutoDS enough for how much they actually cover in the dropshipping space. It's a great platform, so make sure to check that out down below if you are interested in it. And if AutoDS isn't for you, we're going to cover some other options that you have. The next approach to finding a reliable supplier is to directly contact the manufacturers on Alibaba, as well as websites like 1688.com. This approach does offer some advantages. Firstly, when you're reaching out to the manufacturers directly, you are going to get the lowest price possible, which means there's going to be no middleman involved, so they're not going to be marking up the prices, which will allow you to have higher margins. Unlike AliExpress, which is a retail marketplace, they actually mark up a lot of their products on there. Although they seem cheap, they are marked up. But the issue with Alibaba and 1688 is that they really cater towards more B2B in bulk buys rather than direct to consumer dropshipping. Now that's what they specialize in, but they do have dropshipping available on these websites. The next advantage is that opening up communication directly to the manufacturers allows you to ask about customization, private labeling, maybe new features and colors that you want to add, because they are directly making this product. Therefore, they have a lot of control in the assembly line. They could say, you know, we don't need this piece anymore, or change this color to green. So you do get access to that, which is really helpful for branding. But of course, finding a supplier through this method does have some downfalls. A lot of the times you're going to be cycling through a ton of different manufacturers before you find one that has good communication skills, trust, and great shipping times. Remember that manufacturers' main focus is to produce product. They're not really like logistic experts, and they're not really focused on B2C sales. They're looking for bigger bulk buys and contracts. So they might not give you kind of the time of day. It's gonna be a lot harder to find a supplier this way, but I will tell you that it is possible. You're just probably gonna cycle through 50 or 100 messages before you find a decent one on there. So in contrast to using something like AutoDS, where they've already vetted these for you, you're essentially gonna have to do all the vetting yourself. The next supplier that I recommend using is a agent or a forwarder. This is actually what I do today personally. I have a private agent that supplies me all of my products, and I've been working with him for about 5 years now, and I've never left. Essentially what these people are as forwarders or agents, they're just middlemen between the manufacturer and you. They usually have their own warehouse and team. They also have good relationships with logistics companies like DHL, FedEx, USPS. That way they can kind of search around and get quotes out for the best shipping times. Another great benefit of them is that they have their own warehouse, and they also have great communication skills. So they're pretty much the liaison between you and a manufacturer. So they're very good at speaking English, so they can communicate with you effectively in exactly what you and your business needs. And then they translate that over to the manufacturer software and communicate it properly. That way there's no mistakes along the way or miscommunication of what shipping, what kind of product you need, what packaging you need. They kind of facilitate all of that. And since they have these really good relationships with manufacturers, they're able to communicate inventory forecasting, they can get better price downs for you, they can help with customization, and it's great that they're warehousing it in their own separate warehouse because then they have full control of your products and inventory. That way nothing gets lost to the manufacturers because they're pumping out 15,000 products a day. They've got a dedicated section for you and your products. So I'll tell you how it works for me and I'll tell you how I found my agent. So right now I'll reach out to him over WhatsApp and I'm just like, hey Andy, what's going on? I need this product. I want these customizations. Is there anything you can do for this? What would the price look like? What kind of shipping can you get? And then Andy will reply to me and he says, yeah, sure thing. I'll go over to the manufacturers right now. He physically goes over there. He communicates with them what I am looking for and what I need, see if they can do it, what kind of lines will need to be set up. Is there a minimum order quantity? All of those things. He comes back, relays that information to me and says, you know, you can get it for this, this, this. And I'm like, okay, great, good to go. Then he'll create a private link on AliExpress of this product with the price that I want. And then I'll go into AutoDS, plug in the product link there, have it uploaded onto my store, mapped to him as the supplier. And then I'm ready to start selling. And then we communicate on WhatsApp about inventory, any price downs I can get, how many orders I think I'm going to sell. So he can prepare his warehouse and team for any, you know, unforeseen inventory increases or something like that. Now here's how I found my agent. It is a long process. It's very similar to Alibaba or 1688 when you're messaging a ton of suppliers until you find the right one. In the beginning, I was ordering from random suppliers on AliExpress, just hoping that they'd ship out the product. And I started actually selling a lot of one certain product about 5 years ago. And then Andy actually reached out to me and said, hey, I see that you're buying a bunch of other products as well. I can source all of these for you, get the best shipping times, warehouse it in my personal warehouse, have full control. Shoot me a message on WhatsApp. Let's talk about it. So I messaged him on WhatsApp and we became friends and business partners essentially ever since. He's been very fantastic with everything. I'll ask him for the most random stuff with customizations. And he's like, yeah, we can do it. But I got lucky finding him, to be honest. Like I went through, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 suppliers on AliExpress before he reached out to me. So that process is a little bit harder and you have to be a little bit more patient if you do want to find an agent or a forwarder on AliExpress. It is very possible to do. You just have to kind of grill them with questions and figure out how their business is set up. Do they own their own warehouse? And basically qualify and vet them yourself. Now, the next option into finding a good supplier is kind of like a two-part situation here. It's using something called a 3PL, which is a third-party logistics company. They specialize in warehousing product, organizing it, packing it, labeling it, shipping it out for you. Think of an Amazon FBA warehouse. But there are companies that run this as their business model, like ShipBob and some other ones I can't even remember. And why I say it's like a two-part situation is because you have to find the manufacturer or supplier and you'll ship out that product bulk to the 3PL and they'll handle all of the fulfillment of that product. Now there's a little bit more money up front, of course, like they're going to charge you a fee. You're gonna have to buy some bulk product, but they are very, very good at inventory management, warehousing, and fulfillment. So that way you can guarantee like 2 to 3 day shipping times out of a US warehouse. Now the costs are a little bit higher and the margins would be naturally a little bit lower, but you do have a lot more control of your fulfillment process, which is going to make you feel a lot better on the back end once you start making a lot of sales. They also will be able to help you with quality control to make sure that all products coming in meet, you know, your quality standards and they're not broken. They can also help you with customer returns and things like that. It is a really nice service, but I don't really recommend it as a beginner. Once you start hitting 50, 100 orders a day, then it is something to look into, because at that point you want to build a brand and make sure you have a Loctite supply chain, because you definitely don't want to mess up if you're selling 200 orders a day and they're all broken or something like that. So using a 3PL is an option, but it's not really one I necessarily recommend, especially as a beginner, because there are a lot of other great options out there. But overall, I hope that this video gave you a better understanding of how to actually look for reliable suppliers, because I know when I was a beginner and a lot of the people that I coach today are always asking about how to find the best suppliers, because I ordered my sample and they said it was going to arrive in 7 days, but it actually came in 30. It is a really hard thing to figure out, and not a lot of people talk about it on YouTube and things like that. So I hope I provided some value for you guys today to give you a little bit better understanding of the options that you have out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any additional questions, make sure to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I try to reply to everyone. And also, if you're looking for additional help and you do want to work with me and my team at Ecom Remastered, where we can build custom UGC content for you, custom websites, you do have access to my private supplier if you're part of the program. We also host 4 live coaching calls a week to get everyone's questions answered live. And the best part is it's lifetime access. We will work with you until you hit your goals and even past that if you still want to work with us. If that interests you, I'll have a link down below in the description to apply. We only want people that are serious in ecom, no one that's going to come in and quit after a week. It's just a waste of our time and yours. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment down below on what video you want to see next, or if you have any questions. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.